In just a few moments, you'll join in to the Progressional System community, where you will experience the power of collective intelligence. You'll learn the strategies of identifying your goals, developing your plan of attack, creating milestones of achievement, build your vision, declare your future, while experiencing the rewards that only come from group moderated affirmation. Now, let's join your host, visionary leader, David Jones, an experienced personal and business developer, a catalyst for change, equipping individuals and entrepreneurs to dominate with power.
You gotta get in your future before it is now.
Also, Marcus Murray, leading teams of thousands to life-changing concepts, demonstrating an extraordinary track record of success in business with a master's degree in leadership.
Don't look at your gift and say, oh, this is no big deal. Yeah, I'm able to do this incredibly well, but that's no big. It is a big deal.
Now, let's welcome the founders of Progressional and creators of MBTS, the Mind and Behavioral Transformation System, David Jones and Marcus Murray.
So first, let's take a look at the mission, and then we'll go back to break down some of these others.
Whatever you're producing, you always got to have a mission. And I want to be clear on specifically this particular group. And I'm going to read it off so I don't miss, and then we're going to dialogue. Our mission at Progressional is to empower each and every one of the individuals in their journey of personal development and success by, watch this, removing isolation and breaking through the barriers. So we're going to stand side by side with you, with our members, tackling the systematic strongholds and oppositions together. Through mutual accountability, we're going to ensure a clear path to achieving our goals and realizing full potential. So at the end of the day, it's all about collectively coming together and providing for our collective intelligence to push through some of these barriers that we individually are seeming to face. All of us are trying to produce something, right? Everybody, usually if you come on a call like this, you're a big thinker, big dreamer, and you're trying to bust through some type of opposition. But a lot of times we're inhibited because we're programmed in a certain way that we run away from that frustration. And so with collective intelligence, we can give guidance, collective synergy, help with those ideas, and you could give the problems to somebody that actually is in the vein that you want to see growth in. And so we're excited for the community that we're building, and everybody's had this common goal to be more. What are your thoughts?
That's good. That's good. One of the things, in addition to isolation, which was a big issue, there's something that they're now calling demotivation syndrome, where people are just kind of stuck, unable to move forward, just not motivated to do anything. And this demotivation syndrome combined with isolation has created a lot of setbacks, and people don't even realize that they're dealing with them. One of the things that you're going to tackle later today, Dave, is dominating distractions. Most people don't realize the impact of distractions that have been dominating their minds, so they're unable to progress. There is a diagnosis, actually, Dave. My background is healthcare, and it's attention deficit disorder. It's amazing that they've diagnosed all of us with this issue that we can't seem to pay attention or stay attentive. And it's not that. It's that there is a force working against you to actually keep you from achieving the level of success that you're destined to get to. And this thing manifests in a lot of different ways, and dominating distractions is one of them. There's another thing. Dave, have you ever ran into somebody that was a victim of negative self-talk? Not negative talk from other people, but negative talk from themselves.
Right, which is ironic that you bring that up. Most of the clients that I work with, many of you know that I'm in the coaching space, and most time, one of the main inhibitors is the self-observation of what you have done. And when we compare ourselves to people that we admire, the problem is that we begin to tell ourselves what we are not. Right. And the power of your confession or your self-definition will be your truth or your reality. And so part of the problem is having a doubt of one's own ability. And many of us have been through these seasons in our life where we like, I can't do that. I supposed to have this certification. I supposed to have been doing this for longer. I should have been further in my life. I should have attacked this sooner. And so these conversations are engineering to your subconscious mind and telling your behavior that you can't move forward in spite of capability. And so the problem is the negative self-talk is really the thing, whereas the inner battle of what you need to produce. What are your thoughts there?
That's so good. And this self-talk issue, like everybody wants to achieve success. We all realize that there's more out there. Many of us realize that, but all of these factors seem to converge. Again, post-COVID, there's another issue that is really like wild. And I titled it Continuous Sick Syndrome, Continuous Sick Syndrome, where again, people have now developed this mentation that sickness is a normal thing and it's something that we're just supposed to be talking about all the time. The problem with that is that it's become so consuming that even though you've got some goals and some objectives and you're fired up about the future, this consumption with sickness is actually a negative, another one of those gremlins that we've got to destroy in order for you to achieve all that's been put before you. This, just so you know, just historically, if we take a look at it, I've been a registered nurse since 1988. So that takes me to like 36 years, right? And my master's degree is in healthcare and leadership. But what's interesting, this used to be a diagnosis. So this concept of constant sick syndrome, we used to call this was a DSM-3 diagnostic code called hypochondria, which was people that were always sick and always complaining about being sick to prove that this is not normal. So the culture at large has taken something that is not normal and they've made it a normal part of our operating system. But what it actually does is it sets us back. There is no way to advance forward with authority and dominion in your area, in your territory, if you constantly feel either I'm sick or I'm getting sick or it's too much. There's another thing, David, called illness anxiety disorder, which you can see how these gremlins are all holding hands, walking together throughout our lives. Again, this anxiety, I'm not sick right now, but maybe I'm going to get sick. Maybe I shouldn't go here or shouldn't go there. Wait a minute. We are vibrant. We have the ability to overcome a lot, as evidenced by the fact that you're here. So let's not be consumed with things that we don't need to be consumed with. The last word that I used to describe this was post-COVID mental maladies. Just after COVID, it's like we think all of this is normal, when in reality, it's another obstacle keeping us from the destiny that lies before us.
You know, I want to jump in and I want everybody to participate in this and write this in the chat. Dysfunction is not normal. Dysfunction is not normal. There is this reality that is being set upon us where things are just dysfunctional all around us in the world, and is programming us that dysfunction is a normal capacity, but it is not. So anything that is going wrong in your life or anything that is not getting out of your way from your progress is considered dysfunction, and it is not supposed to be there. It now becomes the enemy that we are working together to attack, right? And so that is the purpose of this call, and we're going to figure that out. So now today we're going to jump into some of the components of the, you know, we're developing a software with Progression that was called Mind and Behavior Transformation System, right? We all operate on systems, every one of us, whether it be the 11 systems in your body, endocrine, respiratory, you know what I'm saying, circulatory system. God created us to operate in systems. And so we have been programmed systematically to not get to our highest level of potential. And so in this MBTS software, Mind and Behavior Transformation software, One of the goals is to pull the principles and strategies of the most successful people, and that have been given to us universally and by God, to execute progress and success. And today, we're going to combat these problems that we have. And Marcus, you're going to hit us today with our first topic on vision.
Yes,
and
sir.
the power of vision. So let's hear it.
Awesome. Well, one of the things, vision is very important. And what I would say to everybody on the call, we all, and we're all similar in that we have a vision, a future vision, a plan for the future. And most times what happens, and this is really wild, I was talking about it this morning, people think when they hear the term visionary, that this is some unique person that's so different than me. And maybe I'm really not a visionary. I'm just and then people give their job title or what it is they do for a living. But in reality, we are all visionaries. And I'll prove it. I was first writing a list of the types of people that are visionaries that I could think of, like inventors and developers, designers, contractors, writers, bakers, chefs, composers, builders, landscapers, curators, painters, engineers, craftsmen, artists, musicians, plastic surgeons, farmers, seamstresses, tailors, barbers, hairstylists. All of those are visionaries because they see something that isn't, and they believe it to become something that doesn't currently exist before their eyes. They have a vision of something in the future. I thought that was interesting. And when Dave and I were going back and forth, he said, well, you do realize that the doubters and the worriers and the unbelievers are also visionaries. So the thing that they believe for, the thing that they consume their mind with, the thing that they're thinking about, that vision actually becomes a reality. So more than anything, there's actually scripture that says to guard your eyes or guard your vision. You have to protect this thing. The vision you have for your future, the vision you have for your family, the vision you have for your marriage, the vision you have for your business, the vision that you have for your legacy, whatever that is, you have to protect that vision. Why this is important is our software that you'll be exposed to because you're one of that beta 100, the red teamers, you'll get first access to this. But one of the powerful things about it is it allows you to actually capture your vision and to put it in a plain format so that you understand. There's scripture that says, write the vision and make it plain that those that read may run thereby. And there is another very important part to this vision piece, and I'm gonna actually take you there. If you noticed a moment ago, we were looking at this eye, this woman looking, and you can see in her eye there's a vision. But when we really drill down on this and we really look closer, she actually is envisioning something that currently does not exist. It's a dream of maybe one day building, in this example, a skyscraper. This is how life works. So our vision is kind of like, it's like light in a dark space where we can't see. Our vision is like light. And the more we refine the light, the more powerful it becomes. So just broad light, it may not do a lot as much as a flashlight can do a little more. But when we really fine tune our vision, we can actually make it laser focus. That's where that word comes from, laser focus. Because if we can make our vision laser focus with a laser, which is simply refined light, just totally streamlining light, we can actually cut through flesh. And if we really, really focus and really fine tune the vision and the light, we can actually cut through steel. So in this example that you see there on the screen, this person has taken the time to make a plan, identify the vision, make a plan, and then it's important that we drill down on our plan. We have to drill down. We have to get granular with the plan. We have to identify exactly what are the steps. And this is one of the things that our software does. What are the actual steps that allow a person, that will allow a person to actually achieve their goal? And then with our plan, we have to review it daily. We have to review it daily. Now, here is something very unique that I want to challenge everybody with. So, normally we wake up in the morning, we just get our day started. Some people jump up. The first thing they do is they run and grab coffee, they run and do this. I want to challenge you with something that I was sharing with my son this morning. Imagine waking up and the very first thing you do at this fresh moment in your mind, this peak, they say that you're at a peak of your creativity the first thing in the morning. That's why it's a very critical time. Most people during this time use it to pray, to meditate, all of those things. Well, imagine doing that together and making a part of this prayer and meditation, thinking or envisioning your future. That is huge. Literally, put yourself where you see yourself in the future. It's a strong, strong tool. I'll give you a couple of examples. Before we moved, well, actually, every time that LaDonna and I have moved, and we've been married 30 years, we've moved multiple times. Each time we felt like we were moving to a better place. We would go look at a home and experience the home. We would walk through the home. But when we came home, I would literally take time to meditate on being inside of that house, like literally envisioning in my mind, walking through the rooms and actually being there. And it's interesting that I would tell LaDonna, babe, I was at that house. I was there because I was there in my mind. You actually have to go there before you are there. And that's how this all works. The vision is probably one of the most powerful tools that God has given us, the ability to see what does not exist, to see something into the future. So even if it's raising children, if that's the goal and the vision that we want to make better children, well, let's envision them as their best selves. That's a critical component. So your vision is absolutely critical. Now, for our goals, once we've identified the vision, so the vision is that I want to achieve this. I want to become the top realtor. I want to become the top coach. I want to become the top salesperson. I want to have a great productive family. Now that we've envisioned it, we have to identify the goals and start working toward it. Now, this is what's interesting. The majority of people, we have been conditioned. Culture is doing this. And you'll notice we speak quite a lot about culture. Culture is influencing us in a crazy way. I wish I could say that culture, global, American, all these cultures were influencing us to become better. But in reality, that's not really what's happening. They're influencing us, but not in the best of ways. So I want you to take a look at this next slide, if I can show you this. So here, can everyone see this? I'm not sure if people can see in the chat. Nikki, would you nod your head if you can see this? Awesome. You're awesome. Okay. So once we set a goal, if you notice, this guy is working hard and he's digging to get to the gold. He's digging to get to he's digging to get to his breakthrough on the other side there, the diamonds, right? And this is how life works. But the culture is actually telling us that if we run into any obstacle, it means the goal is not for you. That is not true. It is the obstacles that prepare us. Believe it or not, this guy that's working so hard to get through to the diamonds is actually building muscles. He's building strength. He's building endurance, because once he actually gets to the other side, he's now got to manage the harvest. He's got to manage the increase. And the interesting thing about it is that it's not minor. But the culture tells us any bit of resistance that we run into, it means this is not for you. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. And in reality, all we have to do is press through. And I'm watching. Naomi's going to give me a thumbs up sign to let me know that all is well and we'll move forward. But what's interesting is that I want you to look at this slide. Look at this next one. Hold on one second. There we go. Take a look at this guy. This guy has now been affected by culture. He realizes that in reality, success is not for him. He worked hard. He's been at it for years, and he's just never seemed to be able to break through. He started school. He had to drop out. He's gone through 2 or 3 different jobs. He's continued to work on his dream. He did believe that he had a God-given dream, but after so many years where it seemed as though he was never going to get to that dream, look at what he's done. He's actually turned around and given up. In the chat, can anyone that can relate to that, or you know of someone that's dealt with what I'm talking about right now, would you just put it in the chat? Seeming like you've worked so hard, I just can't go any further. You've heard this from someone. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And what's amazing about this is false. It's fear, false evidence appearing real. It's not real, because what you and I have in this case right now, we've got God's view. What we actually see is what he can't see. He actually turned around when he was literally moments away from the breakthrough. That's how it works. That's how it works. I wish I could say it's going to be easy, that we simply identify our vision. We simply set our milestones and our objectives. We repeat our daily affirmations, and we read positive and motivating things, and we stay plugged into progressional communities like this, and it's going to be easy. It is not. The work still has to get done. The work is still the work. You still have to do the work. There's no way around the work. So we cannot believe what culture says. Resistance means denial. It doesn't. It means persevere. And no matter what, no matter how bleak or dark it gets, we just can't give up. We can't give up. Actually, the dream, the desire that's been placed inside of you is to benefit the rest of the world. And that's what we have to believe, that there's something inside of us that's so great that it's worth the work. It's worth the pain, and we have to endure it. Now, it all starts again with the vision. This is a critical ingredient, writing the vision. I wish I could tell you that there was another way around it. So in our library, in the Progressional community, for those that have not had an opportunity to go to progressional.com, you can join the community there. They will send you an email link so that you can become a part of the actual community where you can access our other resources. We've got a library that is growing by the week that's been developed just to benefit other progressionals like you. It's a library of journeys. So I'm not sure if you've had a chance to view the one from the opera, this extraordinary global opera singer named Aaron Caruso. His story is in the library of journeys in the progressional community. You need to see that. It is powerful. It's so amazing. He talks about the challenges and the obstacles that he's gone through. He talked about what it was like being a child with a dream, believing that one day it could happen, but nothing working out well. It's so good. You've got to watch it. It's probably about it's about 15 or 16 minutes, but it's so good. And I'm waiting for Naomi to give me the thumbs up. Once she gives me the thumbs up, I will go to this next piece. And in there's one more that I have to mention, another story in the library of journeys that you have to see is movie producer Gerald McBride. There's an amazing video of his interview that is so good, so compelling, and it'll show you why it's so important under all circumstances to avoid distraction. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Dave. Dave, hey man, I apologize for going over a little bit, but this is some good stuff.
This is great stuff. You know, this is the time that we got to get some impact moments, right? Because it was so good. We want to open it up. And so, Naomi, if you can help whoever raises their hand and tell what we got out of this particular lesson about the power of vision. Can anybody say what you took away from this lesson, or if you needed it? Raise your hand. Do we got any hands up yet?
Awesome.
Okay, we got a hand. Let's go, JL. JL, actually.
JL.
Okay. Unmute yourself.
Awesome. JL threw up a hand and is unable to. Okay.
Are you able to talk?
Yeah, I'm in.
There you go.
Dr. Jim here. So, yeah, you when you're working on something like that, you just feel like there's times you're just like, wow, okay, it's ready to give up, you know, but you know you're close, or you think you're close, or at least you hope you're close. So, yeah, that was I've seen that before, but you guys put it a different way. Marcus put it a different way. You know, we have what people need, and they have to come to that. We have to come to that aspect of going, okay, yep, we've been called to do something and let's do it. So
that's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else? Come on, we're gonna make this
and Dave,
intelligence.
Exactly. And I was gonna say something, bro, this is so crazy because so many people give up. They give up right at the moment that it's time for them to actually experience the victory. And that's really what's crazy. Everybody that I know and everyone that I associate with that has achieved extreme success, like amazing success, everybody's saying the same thing. I just didn't give up. I didn't give up.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Now, Dave, you were going to talk about dominating distractions. When we were just chatting about that, I know a lot of people are dealing with distractions, but how do distractions, why is it important for other progressionals to take control of the things that are distracting them? How important is that and why?
The way this title is, the thief of your vision is considered your distraction. So let me ask you a question. Have anybody had ever wondered what separates the best of the best from those who are average, or even worse, just critical, spectators, onlookers? Have you ever noticed that it seems like those who are the best, those that we admire, they seemingly rise to the top, and many other people don't really have the real progress, right? So this is where I want you to engage. I want you to put your answer in the chat. What do you think elevates a person from just cruising through life, or take you from cruising through to crushing it? Here's my guarantee. By the end of this, I'm going to give you the tool that you're going to use, and many of us already heard it, to uncover the ultimate strategy to become the best version of yourself, right? And then we're going to find out a way to get rid of that negative self-evaluation, because we're going to embody this reality. So I got a story for you, right? There was this reporter that went to this very small convention, and obviously they're always looking for opportunities to connect with people. And fortunately, he ran to, out of all people, a table that had both Bill Gates and Warren Buffett at the table. And he said, here we have the leader of the tech space, multi-billionaire, and also the finance space, multi-billionaire. And they're sitting at the table together. That's a conversation, collective intelligence right there. So they're sitting at the table. So he asked the question. He says, what would you say your biggest key is for your success? And they both kind of responded almost like a choir. And they both looked at each other and said, focus. Focus is the thing. And what they were underscoring is the significance of, watch these two words, concentration on what you're doing and dedication to achieving the goal of what you're building, the vision that Marcus talked about, right? And so here's two people that embody the reality of a progressional, those who are professional at progress. Now, if we have to look at this thing where we identify the problem. So the problem that comes against the vision, the problem that comes against our focus, there's an equal and opposite enemy called distraction. So distraction is the enemy. Marcus, I consider him my mentor. He said something powerful to me not too long ago. He says, once you identify a weakness, that no longer is your weakness. That becomes your enemy. That becomes your enemy. So you have to look, if there's distraction, we all have it to some degree, but it depends on the level that you have, which is keeping you where you are. If distraction is the thing, we have potentially embodied the characteristic or the rhythm of being distracted. When we go to focus on our journey, when we go to focus on our vision, the question is, are we pulled away by the character rhythm of distraction? It's really, I want to relate to you. So sometimes when you sit down and you're going to knock out the task, you're going to make those calls, you're going to, reach out to your team, build your team, whatever it is that's in the route of your vision. When you run into a little opposition, there's this urge to go to some form of amusement or entertainment and get some dopamine release from social media or television or whatever it is that thing that you feel is the thing that sedates you. But you need to step out of yourself and recognize what that is, right? And on a bigger scale, it's a systematic programming that all these things that are at our fingertip, they contribute to decreasing your attention span, right? You have to have control over your attention span. There is nothing that separates me, you, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, whoever you admire, in our capabilities. We have the same capability. We have the same opportunity to produce, but the enemy that gets embodied into our rhythm is distraction. There's a principle that says the race is not given to the swift, the talented, the well-educated, the one with the most opportunities, but it's given to those that endure to the end. Who can concentrate? Who can dedicate? Who can stay committed to the thing that they said they were going to produce, their desired, preferred future, right? So when you face frustration, that means that you're in the middle of your transformation. When you face uncomfortability, that means you are in the middle of your transformation. I'm in a season now where I'm trying to put on muscle pound. And the only way that I can do that is I have to voluntarily go towards frustration, the muscle. And when I frustrate, when I get in opposition, my muscles begin to grow. So the skill or the thing that you're mastering to become and produce what you want is through the wall of frustration. That is not a trigger for chasing amusement. So distraction takes us off track. So we got the opposition. So what is the solution? The solution we identified as focus, but I want to give you a deeper term. It's awareness. You can only be what you are aware of. So if your awareness is in self-negative talk, if your awareness is in doubt, if your awareness is in social media, if your awareness is in procrastination and whatever suits you, if your awareness is in smartphones and television or whatever it is, then you can only be what you are aware of. You cannot produce the desired preferred future that seems to elude us at times. So there's a scripture that says, as a man thinketh in his mind, his subconscious mind, what's rolling around in there, that's what you'll become. So our assignment as progressions is to figure out, well, how do I get so engrossed in the thing that I want to build that it becomes automatic that I'm constantly thinking of it. And once we embody the rhythm of this focus and we decide to stay committed, our character will respond. Our behavior, that's that term, mind and behavior transformation. Our behavior will begin to line up because we forced ourselves to lock in. All right, so I want to give you some call to action here. There's three things. Two we're going to give you as the walk away, and then one we're going to do before I wrap up my portion of this. I want you to slot a specific time to master one daily vision-based action towards your goal. It's like if you think about basketball, if you think about Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, there is a regimen or a practice that builds the identity of the best of the best. That if you're doing something every day, so it could be making calls for you, it could be if you're a book writer, you want to just be a writer, not write a book. There's an activity, there is a behavior, there is an identity of regimented practice that we all need to have, that we set a time for, that we intentionally come to practice the skill mastery and dominant development, and we do it daily. So what is it that you are doing daily, right? Number two, here's a good one. Identify the biggest amusement or distraction that you have and do a 24-hour fast. So if yours is social media, if yours is negative self-talk, if yours is Netflixing and chill, whatever it is, identify what it is that you know that you default to when you're ready to do the work, right? So identify it and then do a 24-hour fast, because you need to see that as the enemy. It needs to be seen as separate from you, because that's where your fight is, and that's what's stopping the progress, right? And then the last thing, and we're going to do this together, I want everybody to type in the chat, I embody focus. I embody focus. Now, this is important because as you write that down, these spiritual ideas of focus and awareness are character traits of progression, character traits of successful, character traits of those that we admire. When you embody this behavior, when you're focused and strategizing on becoming this character rhythm, it is impossible to stop you. So if you're now self-defining or self-prophesying, I embody focus, whenever you feel yourself drifting, when we're running from the thing we know we need to master, you have to say to yourself, I embody focus. And this is the tools I have for you.
Wow, that is so good. Man, that's just good stuff. This
Good
is what's
stuff.
amazing. The secrets to success are not secrets. It's the same stuff. And what you find is the people that succeed, everybody says, man, this person, that person, they always succeed. They seem to always win. All they've done is exactly what you're saying, David. They've embodied systems of behavior. They've embodied strategies, and that's all we're doing. We're trying to bring those strategies to light. Now, I'm sure there's some people that were impacted. Let me have you just respond. You can raise a hand if you want to give, if you haven't had a chance to speak and you want to give some insight into an impactful moment that you had.
Here.
All right, Pauline. And then Kiara. She'll have to unmute. Is there someone?
Pauline, go ahead and unmute
There-
yourself. There
All
you go.
right. Can you hear me? Okay. So, hi everybody. Good afternoon. Happy March 1st. So when you were talking about in the beginning about what's going on in the world in regards to like ADHD and how noticing that there's been so much like mental health issues and mental health concerns on a rise to the point where it's starting to become so normal with people. And I do believe in a conscious collaborative, and I call that being in one accord. And you can be in one accord in agreement with each other in a negative way or even in a positive way, because both ways are visionaries and both ways do manifest, you know, whether it's negative or positive too. It works both ways. And so many people will say like my anxiety, and they start talking like that, like it's normal. And you guys were saying like ADHD, like, no, that's not normal. So I think it's very important to be on guard, to subconsciously and casually to not come into agreement. And if you ever hear me saying anything like that, please correct me, you know, correct my speech, correct my speaking, so
That's so
and
good.
I don't know, that's just, I do believe like that's why we're here in a coaching program, because of the conscious collaborative, so people can hear you, see you bigger than who you are, what your vision is saying, or what your circumstances are saying.
So
So
good.
thank you.
So good. So good. Thank you, Pauline. Kiara,
Hello, everybody.
hello.
What really resonated with me was really having to put in the chat, I am body focused. It's crazy that she mentioned ADHD, because that's something that I have been in conversations with my therapist about. And she's like, hey, sis, you're looking like ADHD is your thing. And so for me, being aware, right, of what that distraction is or what is going on with you, being able to say I am body focused out loud in those situations when I know my focus is drifting, for me, that's something that I'm going to stick to, because I have to declare that, not say, okay, yeah, this is okay because I have ADHD. I can do 50 things and not focus on one, but being able to say I am body focused and then redirect the focus on what I'm trying to achieve.
Oh, that's so good. So good. So good. Thank you. Thank you. Dave, I have to tell you,
Jesus got his hands up.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh no! First of all, I would like to say congratulations to everyone that joined the conference, because it's good to be surrounded of champions. I mean, to be in this type of conference, I mean, you guys took time, make adjustment on your schedule on a Friday. I mean, that's awesome. Just to add a little bit, I mean, about what you said about vision and focus, and you hit it right on the nail. You have to write your vision. I mean, make sure where you're going, and David had to be focused. The only thing I would like to add is to stay hungry. Hungry. I was watching this video, and I just remind myself, because I'm trying to analyze everything, which is not good. It's not good. Can you mind Noah when he was building the ark? It's like, no, God, but you're not ready. I mean, it's not a thing. Never been ready before. I mean, he won't do nothing. And I noticed this. I mean, I had the opportunity to be surrounded with these athletes, with high standards, and a lot of them, what they do, they don't think too much. They just put action into things. And I was watching the video, I'm finished with this, about why lion is the king of the jungle. I mean, the elephant is the biggest, and the cheetah is the fastest, but the lion is the hungriest.
That's good.
I mean, every day, whatever your vision, your goal, every day, don't try to figure it out. Just do something. Progress will not make you happy, like progressional growth. So that's it. I just want to add that real quick.
Wow, that's so good. I'm putting it in the chat. The elephant is the largest.
Yeah, that's good.
And the cheetah
lion
is the fastest.
Oh,
But the lion is the hungriest. That's wow. I love it.
Yes.
How many people, that alone was worth the whole call? I'm like, that's just so good.
Yeah.
Wow. And Jesus, one of the things, you're great friends with another baseball player. What's that guy's name? Played pretty great in Detroit. Did we lose Jesus, or he's muted?
Tapping back in.
Miguel Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera. Yeah. Okay. And so you said, so he doesn't have to be the smartest. He just had to do what?
No, to be the hungriest. And this is the thing. I mean, respecting with him, when we were training, the first time we came to the United States, we came together in 1999. We were roommates for a couple of years. We're practicing the batting cage and everything. And referencing what I was sharing with you, we practiced, but by the time that we had to perform, he wasn't thinking. And we discussed, he wasn't thinking the home plate, okay, you know what, I'm going to put my shoulder this way. No. He just was performing what he trained automatically. Yeah. He wasn't thinking too much. He already trained, but by the time to performance, he just put action.
Oof.
and he get great results. So same thing in business. I mean, anything. So sometimes we think too much. I mean, we put things together. Oh, but if I need money, I need a rich friend, I need a yacht. No, trying to be, a little bit. What is the word? I'm sorry. Sometimes I forgot the word. Be a little bit. Charm.
Yeah.
So try to connect. I mean, and God will put in ideas. I mean, not together, but the hunger, it has to be there first. Then you can achieve the vision and with the right focus.
That's awesome.
That is so good, Dave.
That's fantastic. Matthew Jones, Sir Jones has his hand raised.
Awesome.
Unmute. I think you're still muted. And allow him.
There we go.
Awesome.
I thought that was great, Jesus. You actually just put something else in my mind. Two things I just want to say that I got. One from what he just said. When you practice, or as Dave was saying, the regimen, when you practice and your regimen is done so well, then what Jesus said that I thought was great was that the performance becomes easy because there's no thought.
Oof.
So relate that to what you talked about, Marcus, the vision. When you're envisioning things and you're practicing things, when it's time for it to manifest, there will be no adjustment. I thought that was great. The second thing I wanted to say from when Dave was talking was what I heard, and I just wanted to share it, was he talked about focus. And what I heard was going from coveting something to committing to something. Because a lot of times we covet things. And when you look up the word covet, it means to strongly desire it. You can desire strongly, but it's not until you commit to it do you switch and can you actually attain it. So I think a lot of times we covet, we desire, but we don't commit. And that's where the focus comes in to push through even when it's hard, because I'm committed, then nothing can stop me. So that's it.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
That's real good. And you pulled the words right from the story that was underlying from Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Concentration, dedication, and commitment. And that's it. And these are the tools that we use to progress. One other thing that Jesus said is when you progress, you're happy. And that's our thing. There is no happiness without progress, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your health. And until you see those gains of where you're trying to go and what's important to you, you will have this negative self-evaluation that the enemy uses to stop you and restrict your movement. So we have to go through the frustration. We have to be prepared to just work at what we're doing till it becomes habitual. And the word habit, the root word is habitat, which means home. So after we work hard, it will be easy for you to do the work because it's habitual to you. It's rest. When others will look at us, they'll say, how are you able to do that seemingly so effortlessly? Right. Well, the answer is I use my discipline and my commitment to create a habit. So this is easy for me. And that's what we're striving for.
Wow, that is so good. Dave, well, listen, in these last few moments that we have, there are a couple things that I'd like to do. Number one, I want you to share with all of the progressionals that are on the line, how do they become a part of the progressional community? Because we're on the global call, but how do they actually join the community if they haven't done that, where they're able to access the library of journeys? And
Sure.
then I want to ask you some questions about the status of the software, where we're at, and what everyone can look forward to.
Okay, cool. So in the chat, it should be a link that says community.progressional.com. This is, and it's fresh, this will be the space that we communicate throughout the week, giving our impact moments, our wins, our successes. This is where we will begin to support each other. We're just opening this up this week. So look in the chat. You're going to have to create a login account and look for us to, over the time, start to fill this with the Library of Journeys, fill this with our own success. We're going to find our own connections in there, people who are like-minded like you, maybe building the same thing you're building. And we have opportunity to network and work together and support each other. So, and these calls are currently every 2 weeks, but in this space, in this community portal, this is where we're going to maintain a connection and give updates and feedback.
That is so good. One of the reasons why this is so important everybody that's starting with us, David, I'm not sure if they understand. We got started with the progressional system probably, it's almost 9 months ago, correct?
Yes.
And in that 9 months, we've had a lot of gains, a lot of gains. We saw a lot because people don't understand what it takes to actually develop software. It's not short and sweet and simple as they might think.
Right.
But we decided to put together a software platform, a system that was accessible on the device that we're all carrying around every day. Everywhere we go, everyone's got one of these in their hands. But instead of it being used to distract you and throw you off course, keeping you away from your goals, we decided collectively that we would build a system that would empower people. We would take the same tool that's being used to distract us to empower others with everything that they need in one place. Everything from your journal to your affirmation statements, to your daily declarations, to your vision board, to everything that you need in your hand to accomplish what so many others have been able to do. When we got started, Dave, we started setting economic goals and financial goals, and they're not small, right? And I think we started with giving goals. Would you say that would be accurate?
Yes, correct. Yes.
So we challenged each other to identify how could we make a difference to not just our families, but how could we make a difference to the kingdom, to our faith, to our ministries? What could we do? And in a few of those instances, dollars made sense. So we started first with a goal that, man, wouldn't it be nice to be able to do this? And then we've watched over the course of these last 8.5 months, we've watched this thing develop. So we were on a call today, and they were going over where the program is as of today. And Dave, if you were to rate it on a scale of let's say 1 to 100, what grade would you give the software as it sits today, even though we're sending them back to make it better? What would you grade it at today?
Oh, wow. Today was 2 answers to that question, but our ability to use it now is probably a 7 out of 10, which is a high number in the process of development. And we have plans to take it even so much further, but it's almost ready for us to really excel and use it as that tool to leverage to do some of the things you just talked about, right? To use it as a device for our benefit as opposed to our detriment. And that's the goal behind this.
So we're talking about it's excellent. Right now, it's excellent. It's when we compare it to other softwares that are out there, it's above what else is there, and we're asking for more. We're doing more. When you guys get this in your hand, it is going to be the game changer. So what we've done, we started by orchestrating a community. We're building the community. Then now as this gets launched, this community where you get a lot of positive reinforcement during the week, positive feedback, in just a moment, you'll have the tool in your hands. And for you, because you were involved first, it's not going to cost you anything. It is 100% free for you only. And that caps off at, I think, 100 users, absolutely no cost. It's our gift for you walking this journey with us. But at the same time, this product is going to be available in the App Store, and it's going to be available just like it is in the main market, and it's going to be really significant. So don't miss the opportunity that you have in your hands. Recognize it, because soon we will not be able to do a small group like this. It's not going to be possible. So don't miss the moment. Get connected. Stay connected. Our next event is going to be on March the 15th, which is another Friday, 2 weeks from today, another Friday, same time, same place. So you'll go to community.progressional.com. Get signed up in the community. We want to thank you again for running the race with us, and we know that the best is yet to come.
Marcus, I want to say this last thing. The community.progressional is the portal for the community, but go to progressional.com and fill out your contact information so you can get all of our emails, and we can send you some special things within there too. So progressional.com is our current site. Go in there and join the community that way to give your contact information also. So there's 2 sites that we gave you. And so Marcus, you can wrap us up.
Awesome. I appreciate you, brother. We will see you in 2 weeks. Progressional.com so that you can get registered, and community.progressional.com so that you can become a part of the community. Welcome again. Thank you so much. Make it a great one, and we're proud of you. See you at the top.
The Progressional System Community, where you will experience the power of collective intelligence. You'll learn the strategies of identifying your goals, developing your plan of attack, creating milestones of achievement, build your vision, declare your future, while experiencing the rewards that only come from group moderated affirmation. Now, let's join your host, visionary leader, David Jones, an experienced personal and business developer, a catalyst for change, equipping individuals and entrepreneurs to dominate with power.
You gotta get in your future before it is now.
Also, Marcus Murray, leading teams of thousands to life-changing concepts, demonstrating an extraordinary track record of success in business with a master's degree in leadership.
Don't look at your gift and say, oh, this is no big deal. Yeah, I'm able to do this incredibly well, but that's no big. It is a big deal.
Now, let's welcome the founders of Progressional and creators of MBTS, the Mind and Behavioral Transformation System, David Jones and Marcus Murray.